Hello there and welcome to another pattern recognition video. This time around we are going to look at a checkmate pattern. This one I have selected to call it Morphy's Magic Knights. Because of the way the great American Paul Morphy handled the knights in this game and another game. So he managed to get this mating pattern 2 times in the year 1857. So I think it's only fitting that we attribute that mate to him. So this is Morphy against Napoleon Marash. And well, you might have seen this position in tactical puzzles or in magazines. You know, when they're showing some nice mates. And it's black to move here. And Morphy ended all resistance with the very nice discovered attack. So this is kind of the extra layer to the mating pattern. It's the way that Morphy used to get it. He used to get a discovered attack on the queen. He would play knight to g3. So this opens up an attack on the queen. But the key point is the knight. It's covering the h1 square. So if we take the queen, which his opponent did, you now see the mating pattern and the magical knights. The knight comes to e2, check, and the other one is doing a great job here on g3, covering the other square. So this is kind of the mating pattern. And yeah, it's vital that we have, you know, pawns in front of the king because they are blocking the escape of the king. So we're going to look at some examples of this pattern and, you know, ways you can use the pattern very often just to win material. That's very often how things transpire with this particular mating pattern. The threat of the mate is so strong that your opponent has to give up material. Now here we need a little bit more of a setup. And here it's Morphy again. This time from a simul in 1857 as well. So how do we set up the magic knights? It's black to move and Morphy played rook takes on e4. What is this all about? Well, after the queen takes, it's undefended. So we can't play knight to g3, attack the queen. And because of the attack on the queen, there's no way to stop the mate unless giving up your queen. So if you take white's queen, if you take the queen here, I will give the mate. And this is our mating pattern. But of course white sees it. And he decides to save the queen, but now we can give this check. And we're going to win the queen. Actually, we can even do more than that. Should we take the queen or should we do something else? And if you don't have the answer, I have the video for you right here. Do check it out. Anastasia mate. Another mating pattern. Also a good one to know. We will take the bishop, we'll take the queen. Checkmate. So kind of two checkmate patterns wrapped in one here. So this was from Morphy's games. So naturally I went out and found some examples. So here's a simple one, a game between 2 players from the Netherlands, and white to play. And well, now that you've seen the pattern, you'll be much more able to spot such an idea, because you know that we have a knight pointing in on e7. So can we create a discovered attack? Yes, indeed, we can't do it. Knight g6. And if white sees a trait on g3, he's quite happy because he can play knight d to e7. Again, same pattern, the king is checkmated. Here a simple example from Georgi Orlov, who had the black pieces. And his opponent just played queen d2 to e3. It was attacked by the knight. But this was a pretty horrible mistake. And what did Orlov play? Of course, he played knight b3, attacking the queen. And on the queen trait, he played knight e to d2. So here we see it also on the queen side. You know, this can happen on the queen side, king side. It can actually happen when the king is in the middle of the board. Such a situation is more likely to arise from something like Sicilian. And here white is able to use, well, our mating pattern coupled with one other idea. Very often when you know a pattern, you need to add a little bit to it here and there. And that's what happens. After h6 by black, white played the winning move, which of course is knight e6, correct? And what we're adding is that if you take, the queen comes in, delivers the mate. And if you don't take, you have to move the queen, not to lose it, but then we move in. And because of this mating construction, you have to give up the queen. And black loses as well. Basically all the material. Here's another situation. And one of the reasons why a move such as h3, which white played, can be very, very weakening. And in fact, it's because you lose control over this diagonal. And black used the fact to immediately force resignation by knight to e3. The threat is to come in here. And this is very similar to our last example. If you take, like you mate here, and this is what I mean by losing control of the diagonal. If the pawn was on h2, you could play g3. But now you lost control here, and the diagonal is ours for the taking. So queen somewhere, a knight here, and because of the mating construction, you have to give up the queen again. And let's move back to the original example. Here we see an example where black actually played knight g6. A pretty horrible blunder. And of course white took it. Black was intending to trade the queens, knight takes and take with the pawn. But of course we know better and we play knight f takes on e7. So this is actually a surprisingly useful pattern, but mostly I want you to be aware of it, because when you see it, it's so beautiful to, to be able to play such a mating pattern. So I'm going to leave you with a few exercises. Let's have an easy one first. It's black to move. How do we win decisive material here? And black was able to do so in the game. But do tell me in the comments, what's the move here for black? And we're also going to have one for white. And this one is slightly more difficult, but the knowledge of the pattern should help you out tremendously. What's the best move for white here? Do go ahead and tell me in the comments. And as always, I do appreciate the likes. So go ahead and smash the like button if you like the video. And I hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.